Can you sit here? You're ignoring me. I want you to sit here, please. Please, please. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Nope, 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 please. Honey, sit here. This is your spot. Hey, it's Drea and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, and chances are that you are, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of who I am. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I've been in the DC area for about 12 years, and I currently work full-time and attend law school part-time at Georgetown University. Today, I'm here to talk about what I consider to be simultaneously one of the best and worst things about law school, and that is
the ominous curve.
If you want to learn more about the curve, stay tuned. Before I get started, make sure you throw me some thumbs, subs, and comments down below. As y'all might know, I don't get paid for this, it's just a fun hobby, so your feedback and suggestions are what make it all feel worth it for me. Alright, so let's get into it.
The ominous curve.
What is it? What does it do? How does it impact your law school grades? And what will it mean for your law school experience? Let's start with what it is. The curve is essentially a mandatory grade distribution. You know, I'm sure you've heard of it before, a bell curve. Are you giving me kisses? Thank you, mama. In this distribution, there's a high number of people in the middle and a low number of people on the left and on the right. On a curve grading system, very few people get good grades. And by good grades, I mean something like a high pass or an A or an A minus. A lot of people get mid-range grades. And similar to the beginning of the bell curve, a very few number of people receive lower grades. So what does the curve have to do with law school? I mean, no big deal, but it essentially kind of determines your grades in relation to your peers. Now, curves vary at every law school. So for example, while some schools may curve higher, and for example, their average grade may be something like a B+, at other schools, the average may be something like a C. I've mentioned my not so great feelings about law school rankings in the past and how arbitrary I think they are and have always been, but the curve is another place where the ranking of a law school comes back into play. Even though rankings technically don't matter anymore, the lower a school has been historically ranked, chances are the more harsh the curve is at that school. The best way I can describe it outside of these terms is it's kind of like grade inflation based on the industry reputation of the school that you're attending. And for some reason, every school that I know of participates in this system. So now I'll get into some of the good things about the curve. One of the main points is that if you attend a highly regarded school, even if you're at the bottom of the curve, it can help pull you up. For example, in comparison, even though you may end up receiving one of the lower or lowest grades in your class, the curve may be able to pull your substandard grade up to something like a B or a B-, for no reason other than that is where the end of the curve at that given school lies. However, if you attend a quote-unquote lower regarded school, being at the bottom of the curve may mean that you receive something like a D. Now I'm gonna go further in depth about some of the bad things about the curve, and there are many. The first is that it can create and foster an immense system of pressure and competition amongst you and your peers. For example, in law school, everyone that you're sitting in class with is competing with you for that limited number of A's and or A-, or high passes. But what is both great and sometimes, in the case of the curve, terrible about law school is that once you reach that point of learning, everyone tries, everyone is smart, and everyone is immensely capable. Little things like slacking off aren't really going to happen at this level. And when everyone is smart, no one is. I say that to mean that the playing field is leveled in a way that there are likely hundreds of students just like you sitting right next to you. They often know how to achieve in the exact same ways that you've been taught to achieve, and that can get tricky. Things like just being smart and being able to memorize and regurgitate information are likely not going to be the qualities that differentiate a good performance from an exceptional performance in a class or on an exam. So in order to secure those good grades, you're gonna have to work really hard. But even then, that doesn't always materialize into the best grades. Okay, so that's the bulk of the curve, and I'll go into a other couple small tidbits about it. One is that the curve is typically less harsh in smaller classes. Smaller classes are the ones that you'll typically have the opportunity to take once you finish your doctrinal or law school core requirement classes. This means that classes like seminars or clinics or smaller lectures are more likely to end up earning you higher grades. Not necessarily because you're any smarter, but by sheer numbers. Alright, that's all I've got for today as a crash course on the law school curve. I'm certainly by no means disillusioned enough to think that I mentioned everything that warrants mentioning about the curve here. Feel free to drop some comments down below. What are some things about the curve that you're aware of that I may have failed to mention? Are you currently in law school? What has your experience been with the curve? And do you think that the law school curve should even be in place? I'll be reachable through my email address down below and potentially through my Instagram. Feel free to reach out. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.